have been rewatching How I Met Your Mother for I don't know that I'll tell you how many times I've seen it through, but I think that this show is really well done. I've always loved the different ways that they tell the stories of, how Ted's life goes and how he gets closer and closer to meeting his children's mother and his on-again, off-again love with Robin and all of that. But I just watched, I believe it's season 7, episode 7, where Robin, his friend Robin, has just been unproposed to by her boyfriend because she can't and she does not want to have children. And she's really frustrated in the episode before because she's sad. I mean, this is a really big deal for her. She was about to open herself up to love, and she is so sad that it's gone now. And she asks Ted, who could see past this? Who could possibly see past this? And he says, I can, I love you. In the episode, in episode 7, they're apart for a little bit, and then she comes back from a work trip, and she just comes to the realization that she loves him as a friend, but she doesn't probably love him as a romantic relationship right now. And so during this time, she's actually been rooming with Ted. And what I love about this is one of the last scenes is where Ted is actually having a drink with Marshall, and he's saying, I'm okay with this, I'm off the hook, I can finally move forward and move past this. And what I love is in one of the other last scenes, Marshall comes after that talk. Marshall goes to Ted's apartment and he finds Robin, and he says, Ted says that he's doing okay, but he's hurting. He tells Robin, you need to move out. And she says, I know, which I think is really big of her, and she does move out. But what I've always admired about this is Marshall stepping in and protecting his best friend and saying, I know where he's coming from and I know what he's saying, but he needs to actually move on, and for that to happen, you need to move out. And it reminds me of the strongest friendships are ones where our friends might advocate for us and we may never know it. And it reminds me of a verse in 1 Thessalonians 5:11, encourage one another, build one another up, just as in fact you are doing. But also in Proverbs 17:17, a friend loves at all times, and a brother or sister is born for adversity. I think that really applies here. I think that Marshall is not just the best friend that Ted has that's willing to hop in the Fiero and do a road trip or listen to, I would walk 500 miles, although that is awesome, believe me, I have those friends. But a true friend is someone who will step into a pit with you when you fall and pick you up. And we've even talked about this in Ecclesiastes when we talked about loneliness, but we talked about Ecclesiastes 4, where the Bible is talking about 2 are better than 1, they have a good return for their labor. But this is my favorite part, and I think it applies here, especially with Marshall and Ted. If either one of them falls down, the other can help them up. Pity anyone who may fall and has no one to help them up. If one may be overpowered, it says further down, 2 can defend themselves. And I think that's so valuable. And it's just so healthy to remember what a good and true friendship can be. And it could be anybody. It could be your best friend, or it could be somebody maybe that you've never met, but maybe they're praying for you right now and you have no idea. When we open ourselves up to this idea of friendship and really brotherhood or sisterhood and what that really means, especially in times of adversity, we may have best friends that we love dearly, and I don't want to put down any of those relationships, but if you're in a pit or if you've fallen down, who's in that pit with you? Who is boosting you up out of it, or who is working hard to get the rope to pull you out, or who is trying to find the ladder to get you out, or who is praying and fasting for you, or who is fighting alongside you? They may not be able to fight the exact same battle, but they might be advocating for you. And how can we also be that person for our friends? What can we do to fight battles with our friends in a godly way? So who's being the Marshall in your life, and who could you be the Marshall for in their lives?